morning everyone. Once again I welcome you all to RKP online classes. Today I am going to discuss the next topic of chapter 13, which is strengthening of the company's power. In previous video we have learnt about the battles over Bengal, Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. In Battle of Plassey we have discussed that this battle was fought in the year 1757 between Sirajuddaulah and English East India Company, in which English East India Company was victorious. Sirajuddaulah lost the battle. Not only the battle, he lost his life also. After that, one more battle was fought between the Nawab of Bengal, Mir Kazim, who was the son-in-law of Mir Jafar, and English East India Company, in which English East India Company was victorious and Mir Kazim, who was the son-in-law of Mir Jafar, lost the battle. So after Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, the company strengthened, increases its power. How? By introducing two policies, that is doctrine of lapse and subsidiary alliance. So first we will read about the subsidiary alliance. Here the meaning of subsidiary means when something is owned or controlled by another company, and alliance means agreement. So it was agreement between Indian states and English East India Company. It was introduced by Marquis Wellesley, who was the Governor General of India at that time. He introduced subsidiary alliance, subsidiary agreement. As per this agreement, no Indian rulers were allowed to have their independent armed forces. Again, no Indian rulers were allowed to have their separate armed forces. Instead, the Britishers were saying to Indian states that we will protect you in case of any attack. We will save you in case of any attack. But here question arises, students, were they very kind? No, they were very cruel instead, because they mentioned in this agreement also, in this alliance also, that for this Indian rulers have to pay for the upkeep of the British army. They have to pay for the maintenance of the British army. They have to pay for the maintenance of subsidiary forces. See how cruel they were. Not only this, they also mentioned in this alliance that if in case any Indian rulers failed to pay for the upkeep of the British army, in that case the part of the territory of the Indian kingdom, the Indian rulers will be taken by the company as penalty. And this happened with the king of the Nawab of Awadh, who was Shuja-ud-Dowla. After the Battle of Buxar, Shuja-ud-Dowla, who was the Nawab of the Bengal, he signed an agreement that was subsidiary alliance. But in 1801, he failed to pay the amount for the upkeep or for maintaining the British army. Right? In that case, by force, half of his territory was taken by the company as a penalty. So this was about subsidiary alliance. Again, as per this agreement, no Indian rulers were allowed to have their independent armed forces. Instead, the Britishers said that we will protect you in case of any attack, but for this you have to pay amount to us. But if you fail to pay so, then in that case you have to pay a part of your territory as a penalty to us. Next we will discuss about doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse was another policy introduced by English East India Company. As per this policy, it was introduced by the Governor General Lord Dalhousie. And this policy stated that if any Indian ruler dies without any natural male heir, here the meaning of natural male heir means khud ka beta, means saga beta. If any Indian rulers dies without any natural male heir, in that case the kingdom of that ruler would automatically pass into the hand of the Britishers. So this was about doctrine of lapse and subsidiary alliance, which was introduced by the English East India Company in order to strengthen its power. Our next topic is Revolt of 1857, which is also known as First War of Independence and Sepoy Mutiny. Later on I will discuss the meaning of Sepoy Mutiny, why it is used. So the rules, the laws which were made by English East India Company affected the lives of people from different parts, different segments of the society, such as Indian sepoys. Sepoys basically are the Indian soldiers who were working under the British Army. Poor peasant means poor farmers who cultivate the lands, and cultivation means preparing the land for growing the crops. Landlord. So there are two important terms, landlords and the tenants. Landlords, one who own the land and to whom they give, that is known as the term tenant. The other person who uses that land is known as the word tenant. So landlord, one who owns the land, one who is the owner of the land and rent that land to other person means to tenant, to cultivate. Cultivate, as I told you, the process of preparing the land for growing the crops. Local Indian rulers and the common people means they all were dissatisfied. They all were not satisfied with the policies, with the rules, with the laws made by the English East India Company. And later on, it was the sepoys who protested, who revolted against the Britishers first. That's why this revolt of 1857 is also known as Sepoy Mutiny. Okay, because it was the sepoys who first started revolted against the British, means the English East India Company. But why they were not satisfied? There are few reasons. The first reason is because of their lower remuneration, their lower salaries as compared to the other the British soldiers in the British Army. Second is because of their bad working condition. They were dissatisfied with the British Army. And third reason is the reservation of the higher post only for the Britishers, not for the Indian soldiers. So because of these reasons, the sepoys were the first who revolted against the Britishers, against their rules or laws. And later on, poor peasant, the poor farmers, craftspeople, artisans, or the rulers of small Indian kingdoms, they also participated in this revolt, and they made Bahadur Shah Jaffar, who was the last king of Mughal emperor, who was the last Mughal emperor, as their leader. However, the Britishers crushed this revolt of 1857. They crushed First War of Indian Independence, revolt of 1857, with their cruelty. Finally, the revolt of 1857 brought the rule of English East India Company to an end. And just after that, the responsibility of governing our country shifted to new queen, that is Queen Victoria. After that, the Queen Victoria became an empress, became a queen of our country, and our country became a British colony. For this, for managing our country, the Queen Victoria also appointed a viceroy. Viceroy. Here the meaning of viceroy means when the king or queen send one person in order to administer other country. So viceroy was appointed in our country in order to administration, in order to take care the affairs of our country. So students, these are some leaders of the revolt of 1857. First is Mangal Pandey, who was a soldier in the British Indian Army. Second picture is of Rani Lakshmi Bai, who was the ruler of the Jhansi. Jhansi is a place in Uttar Pradesh. Third is Tantia Tope, who was a soldier of Peshwa Nana Sahib. Here, Peshwa is used for the word leader. Leader Nana Sahib, and Nana Sahib was adopted son of Baji Rao. Next picture is of Kuvar Singh, who was a landlord from Bihar. And last is Begum Hazrat Mahal, who was the wife of Nawab of Awadh, Nawab Wazid Ali Khan. Now look at this picture of map. It is showing the main centers of the revolt of 1857. And these places are Delhi, Meerut, Bareilly, Lucknow, Kanpur, Faizabad, Ara, Gwalior, Jhansi, and Barakpur. So, student, this is about our chapter 13, beginning of the British rule in India.